Hey everyone, what's going on? My name's Archer Live, and in today's video we're going to be talking about more news regarding the next console update for Payday 2 on Xbox One and PS4. Once again, this is from a post put up by Goris from the Overkill team, who has put up all the posts we've been discussing over the last few weeks, and we're getting more updates at the minute than the MCU is getting films, which is honestly saying something, but regardless, we're going to read through the post, I'll give my thoughts on it, then at the end of that we'll get all your opinions down in the comment section below. So a couple of days ago, Goris added this post to the Steam thread, which reads, "Hi Heisters, it turns out that the update requires more work than we expected, and for that reason we have decided to split the next update into two parts in order to release what is possible sooner rather than later. We're not quite ready to share a date yet. So the coming update will include lots of free new content such as weapons, masks, heists, a new character, and a few features, unless we need to change something after QA's feedback. So, they're splitting the next content update into two parts, and can I just start off by saying I thought that was already the case, because he already delayed the safe house and skins, so that was already, an assumption created that that would come in a separate update. So, is this anything new? I don't really know. I'm not really sure whether that means that some things are going to be put into that update as well, so they're delaying a few other things because they're taking too long, and they already have a batch DLC that's ready to go right off the bat they're going to put out the door. I'm honestly not too sure. It's a very weird update, and he's not exactly been very specific. It's been quite vague, but he said he's not quite ready to share a date yet. It's not like the last post or the post before that. I can't remember. He's put so many posts up this point where he said we're not ready to release it in this month. But he's just kind of said, we'll give you a date soon. And Overkill have never been the best with dates. When the Most Wanted DLC came out, I don't even think they gave us a week's notice. And then the Master Plan update just dropped out of nowhere. So it's entirely feasible that in them saying that, they might drop a date in the next week or two, and it could be it's coming this week. So it's a very difficult one. Not too sure as to when it's going to drop out. Personally, I will do a video on this at the same time as this. I don't even know why I'm getting into too much detail, but my uni exams start in 2 weeks, so if he drops it in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be a little frustrated, because I want to do as many videos on that, on the content in there as I can. And if I've got uni exams to revise for, that's going to be quite a conflict of interest, so that'll be funny. But we're going to dive into this just a little bit more specifically, just to try and ascertain a few more things that, might point out as to what we're actually getting. And the first one that is the most obvious is him saying a new character. And if we backtrack to what I talked about in the last video, there was Duke and there was the H2H3 character pack. And I said back then that the H2H3 character pack would come out as a single DLC, just as it did on PC. You will get Ethan and Healer in the same one, basically. They won't split it up into two updates where they give you Ethan in one update and Healer in the other. That wouldn't make sense. It's not logical. It's one paid single DLC pack, and it's the only DLC that we don't own that is not going to come out for free. So wouldn't be those two, which means Duke is coming in the next update, and if there is one coming soon, it means he's going to be here in a few weeks, alongside the Stoic Perk Deck and the Cross Kill Guard pistol. So that's something to look forward to if you're interested in that regard. But honestly, I want to try and make predictions, but it's a bit difficult because the way he said it now, the fact they're splitting it up into two updates suggests that perhaps some heists and not all of them will come over. Some weapons, not all of them will come over. Maybe they'll split a bit more of it up so that even stuff that is kind of ready now, they might save so the update's a bit bigger, like the second half. But there are 6 heists in total missing from Payday 2 on console. We have Alaskan Deal, the Diamond Heist, Reservoir Dogs Heist, Brooklyn Bank, Breaking Feds, and Henry's Rock. The new heist that came out with the end of Spring Break I wasn't able to cover in the last video because I recorded it just before the end of the Spring Break event. Which, let me just say, that Henry's Rock heist, I've never seen so much lore in a single heist. It was actually really interesting. I watched a few videos on it. I haven't played it, obviously, but I know what happens in it, and it actually is rather interesting. So that's something to look out for if you're interested in the story of Payday 2. But either way, the 6 heists missing. Now, I thought from when Goris said that they were looking to add a few new features and content in alongside the current stuff that we're missing, I thought that suggested that potentially the Spring Break stuff might come out in the next update. For instance, they might throw Breaking Feds in there, but the way he's saying it, I feel like they might split it up. And if obviously they're going to do it in 2 updates, the most logical thing will be to split it right down the middle. The only issue I have with that is, logically to me, looking by Overkill's patterns they've done in the past, where they've gone right to the end of 2014's DLC with a big base release, and on top of that the bomb heist in 2015, but let's just pretend it's the end of 2014. The Big Score DLC went right through to the end of 2015. Most Wanted DLC about halfway through 16. Master Plan up to the end of 2016. So I'm thinking that they will like to round off years in the way they have in the past. And obviously some features, we've been over this before more times than I've had hot dinners. It's a thing I've used before, and apparently people like it, so I'm going to use it again. But because of that logic, and because of their way of, rounding off DLC to the end of a year on PC so that it, they do it in a big batch, I feel like the 4 heists will come out being Alaskan Deal, Diamond Heist, Reservoir Dogs, and Brooklyn Bank. I think those 4 are going to drop, and that is my personal opinion. And as such, weapons that came around in those updates, like things from Lock and Load, and anything along those lines, including the Union 5.56 rifle, I think it's called, from Reservoir Dogs. Quite a few people want that. I don't know what's so special about that weapon. Haven't looked into it too much, but people seem pretty excited, so there's that. But I think those heists will drop. That's my personal opinion. Beyond that, in terms of weapons, like I said, whatever was released at around the time, I don't see any excuse for them not to put that over. But I can safely say that I don't think anything from Spring Break 2018 will come over. And that's just, you know, it just seems a bit obvious. They're splitting it up into 2 updates, and what the second half only has the safe house and safes and skins, then it's going to be a bit of a boring update, because some people don't want either of those things. Granted, people like me will have whatever we can get, and obviously I do have preferences over what I do and don't want, but it's very much, you don't want to split it up into 2 updates when the second update is going to be tiny and underwhelming. So you split the assets, and then basically you have something good for everyone in both of the updates. And finally, the last thing I want to touch on is that he said the next update will include a few features as well. So obviously, again, safe house not coming, safes and skins not coming. So what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the whole side jobs area, which was connected to the safe house to start with. That won't be coming over, which points directly at Crime Spree and Team AI. Now, I want to refer back to an old post from Almir when the Master Plan DLC was released. He talked about in that post things that were going to be more heavy regarding content releases and, you know, how much effort it would take to port things over. And he actually said in that post, if I can get it up on the screen, I will. If I can't, then I apologise. But I can quote unquote him roughly along the lines of, the safe house, Crime Spree, features like those are very heavy. They require a lot of effort to port over, and as such may take a bit longer, which adds up for Goris saying the safe house being delayed. Crime Spree has not been mentioned as an issue until this point. In fact, at this point they haven't. So at no point has Goris gone, Crime Spree is being a bit of a problem, we can't port it over, sorry about that. So what I'm thinking is Crime Spree for definite, and because he's used the word features, I think Team AI as well. So, let's round things off, and let's talk about everything I think is coming in the next update in one big kind of slab, one big slog, one big update. We're going to get Reservoir Dogs, Brooklyn Bank, Alaskan Deal, Diamond Heist. Those heists are in the wrong order, deal with it. The Duke Character Pack, Team AI, Crime Spree, Union 5.56 rifle, and any other loose weapons that were released with heists, like the compact 40mm grenade launcher, came with Brooklyn Bank. The only DLC I can think of off the top of my head that we won't get from 2017 is the H3 Character Pack. Because, again, he said a new character, not 3. So, that's the only discrepancy I will put out there. But other than that, that sums up all the news. That sums up my predictions. So, what do you guys think? Are you excited for the DLC that I mentioned there? Do you think I'm bang on? Do you think I might be wrong? I've just tried to make the most logical assumption I can based on Overkill's history with DLC. But if you guys have any opinions, please do leave them down below. I'll be very interested to see what you guys think. But other than that, thank you all very, very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Always very much appreciated. Subscribe if you are new. And guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy.